Hi Aries, this is Teresa from Tarot by T. Welcome to July. Before I start your reading, I'm going to call in some good energy. So this month we have a full moon in Capricorn, a lunar eclipse on July 3rd or 4th, depending on how you look at it. Depending on where you live, I should say. And then we have a new moon, not an eclipse, just a regular new moon in Cancer. And this is the second new moon in Cancer. The first one was an eclipse in June. And we're at the end of the eclipses. We had 3 eclipses. This is the last eclipse, this one in Capricorn. And that's going to be on July 3rd, 4th or 5th, depending on where you live. And then on the 20th of July, we have the new moon in Cancer. And Mars, your ruling planet, has moved into Aries. It's going to be in Aries from now until, for the next 6 months, till next year. So, but it's going to move in Aries, it's going to retrograde, then move back. So you're in your power now. You're being, you've got the rocket fuel. So we'll see what happens later in the reading. I'll look at the astrology, but let's see what the cards say about eclipse season for July. What does Cancer, Aries need to know about this? About July. What are the eclipses bringing for Aries in July? What is coming up for Aries in July? Because we're going through a transition. This is a transition period. And these eclipses, you know, they last for 6 months. It's not just a monthly thing. It's going to be a 6-month period till November, December when we have the next round of eclipses. So Mercury is going direct now, or is retrograde. Venus went direct. Neptune is retrograde. Let's just see. And Mars moving into Aries is going to be a big plus for you because Mars in Pisces was not very strong. So Mars is home in Aries. So we're going to be able to rock out with energy with Mars, at least while he's going direct. So let's see, what does Aries need to know about the month of July? Let's see what we get. The Moon. The Two of Pentacles. The Queen of Wands. The Temperance. The Ace of Pentacles. The Strength. The Hangman. The Three of Swords. The Six of Pentacles. And the Nine of Pentacles. So this looks kind of like a work, well, I don't know, there's mostly career here, but there's also, so the Moon, you start the month out with the Moon. This is a card of confusion. You may not be seeing things clearly in July. You might be juggling. What is this? The Two of Pentacles. You're juggling a lot, and you might be pretending that everything's okay, but you might be hiding how you really feel. And with the Moon card, sometimes when the Moon comes up, it can mean someone has a very vivid imagination. So you could be very creative, but you may be letting your imagination run away with you, where you're imagining things that are not in touch with reality. So you might be thinking something is either better than it is or worse than it is. And you want to be careful that you're having a realistic view. Now with Neptune going retrograde recently, that, and plus at the full moon that we're coming up to, that's going to reveal some truths. When Neptune goes retrograde, we have greater clarity. And we start to turn inward when planets go retrograde. So you may be coming out of a period of confusion or illusion. You know, if you've been kidding yourself about something, or if you've been over-idealizing something, you don't want to get lost into extremes of either very positive or very negative. You want to look at things realistically when the Moon comes up. Sometimes the Moon can represent some type of escapist behavior. Like you may not want to face reality about something. So you may be losing yourself in a dream or, a fantasy. The Two of Pentacles here, you have a lot going on and you're juggling a lot. You have the Queen of Wands here. This could represent you taking a leadership role in your life. You may have decided, I want to make some changes and I want to put my energy toward, I want to go after what I want. Just don't be reckless. Try to see things in a realistic way. The Temperance card is in the recent past. The Temperance is a card of, again, having balance, finding a balance. So not going to extremes. So you might be really, that means don't think totally negative, like this is never going to work. Or don't be so optimistic that you don't see any flaws in your plan. You just want to find the middle ground when the Temperance comes. And you may feel like you're being called to take a certain direction. Because this is a card sometimes of divine guidance. If you're connecting with someone in some type of partnership, whether it's business or personal, you may find that you're both very different, but you're very compatible. But also, the Temperance card is about compromise, learning to see things from another person's perspective. Like not wanting everything to be your way, but having to give in, having to meet someone in the middle. So if you're having any kind of negotiations or issues around negotiation or contracts, take the middle ground. Don't be afraid to give, meet someone halfway. Don't expect everything to fall on your side. You have to learn how to compromise. Now, you've got this Ace of Pentacles coming up here. The Ace of Pentacles is a career opportunity. You have an opportunity to create something tangible. And the Ace can mean a lucrative opportunity, something that's going to bring in money, something's going to bring in stability. You have the Strength card here. This is a card of, because it's a card of learning how to control your emotions, learning how to tame the beast within. So if you've been going to extremes, I feel like there's this energy of extremes in the reading, where you don't want to go over the top. And Aries has a tendency to be very, you're a go-getter. You're the warrior. So when you make up your mind to do something, you're all in, 100%. And you could be a little bit too intense at times. But that's not to say, but with the Strength card, you want to just tone it down a little. It's about learning how to control your anger. Learning how to get your needs met without going over the top. Learning how to, using, being kinder, softer. Because you might be a little bit too aggressive, and these cards are saying find that middle ground, find that balance, find that place of compromise. The Hangman is here. This Hangman is about, you may be, it's in your negative thinking sector, so you may feel like everything around your life is in limbo. Nothing is moving. And that was probably true while Mars was in Pisces, and Mars was in, even though Mars, when it was in Capricorn, it was stronger in Capricorn, but it also required a lot of work. There was a lot of work behind everything you're trying to do. Now Mars is in Aries. It's like you're tired of waiting. You just want to go. Mars in Aries is very, it's impatient. It's like, come on, I want to start to get the show on the road. So with the Hangman, you may be thinking about giving something up for something better, making a sacrifice, leaving something behind. You have the Three of Swords in your environment, so you're cutting things out from your life that no longer make sense, that are no longer working. So this could be a relationship, because the Three of Swords could sometimes be heartbreak. Or it could just be severing ties with people and things and places, especially because it's your environment. Maybe you're thinking of moving, or moving to a new location, and severing ties with whatever is no longer working, which would, because things have a time and a place. Sometimes, people are in our lives for a certain amount of time, and then relationships, or whether it's business or partnership, they don't make sense anymore. It's time to, move on. So you might be thinking about that. There might be an opportunity that comes up that allows you to move on, that allows you to cut away what's no longer serving you, and to move on to something better. You have the Six of Pentacles here. You have a lot of pentacles in this reading so far. So it's going to be a month about security and money. And where can I find my security? What new beginnings do I need to take and make? Where do I need to focus my energy? Because Mars is giving you that push, that rocket blast, so you want to direct your energy in the right place. And I feel like for you, it could be financial security, maybe a new career path, being more independent financially, not depending so much on others. Because the Six of Pentacles is a card of where there might be an imbalance in a relationship or a situation where one person's doing all the giving and another person's not just doing all the taking. So you could be on either end of that spectrum. You could be the giver, you're buying everything, you're paying for everything, or you could be the one who's needing someone to take care of you. And that's another thing where you may have to find that balance in the relationship where you either set boundaries and say, look, I can't be the one that, we have to have a more fair distribution of things. I can't be the one doing all the work. I can't be the one paying all the bills. And if that's you, then someone might be having that conversation with you, like, you need to step up to the plate. So it could be either or for this. But the Six of Pentacles, if you're changing careers, you could be working in doing work that helps others in some way. That's kind of like social work or working with people less fortunate. And you have the Nine of Pentacles here. The Nine of Pentacles usually it's a card that comes up when people are working for themselves, or they're working in some kind of capacity where you're on your own. You're not being micromanaged. So you could have a job offer that comes up where you're having a chance to be your own leader. Either you're working for yourself in your own business like a contractor, or you're working for someone who kind of gives you free reign. Just do the job, this is what we want, just report back. So you're pretty much in charge. And I think you're going to be doing okay financially in July, especially with all these pentacles. The only thing that you may feel with with this nine of Pentacles is you may be feeling lonely. You may be feeling like, well, yeah, I've got all this, all these things are looking up. I've got this job, I've got a great job, I've got a lot of new financial opportunities coming up. But what good is and you're you might be settling in a home where you're feeling comfortable and secure, but then you're thinking, well, okay, I like my environment, I'm happy here, but I want someone to share it with. So you may be feeling like you would like to have a relationship. But I don't feel like you're starting a relationship in July. I feel like you're cutting away. You might be leaving a relationship with the Three of Swords, and then getting yourself settled financially and career-wise. And then at some point when you reach your career goal this year, because the Ace of Pentacles is a time card, and that's December, January, February. So at the end of the year, you could achieve some type of career goal that you're going to be really happy with. It's going to bring you more money, more security, and it may be leaving a current situation to take this new opportunity. And that might start to happen. This is a card that represents about 6 weeks. So 6 weeks from now, you might be thinking about moving on from either a relationship or a career situation. And you want to make sure with the right now, with the moon in the center, you're not sure if you can trust the people you're dealing with. You're kind of unsure. You're wondering if the people you're dealing with, either a relationship or a career thing, if they're being honest with you. So you may want to have some conversations. And if you're with someone that's not being honest, maybe you need to cut them out. Because I'm feeling like you're going to be cutting things out that no longer serve you. if you feel like you've been sacrificing too much in a situation, you're going to be wanting to move on to something more secure and more equitable. And you're going to achieve that goal. So let's see what the astrology has to say. So yeah, we have this full moon, this lunar eclipse. It's happening just after midnight on the east coast of New York. And if you're on the west coast, it's happening on the 4th. If you're on the east coast, it's on the 5th. This moon is happening in your 10th house. So something is coming to completion in a career situation. Or a life direction. Even the 10th house is career, your status in the world, recognition. Usually it's a job or career path. But it can also be a status, you know, when you go from single to married, married to single. So it's your public persona is going to, like something is coming out. The full moon usually reveals certain truths. So I feel like you're either completing a career, some kind of thing that involves your career, and you're getting rewarded. You might be moving up to another level or leaving a job for something better. If it's a relationship, you might either decide to commit or to leave. You know, there could be changes in that way. But I think it's more like, but this moon is opposing, the moon is in Capricorn at 13 degrees. And it's going to be, you know, Pluto and Jupiter around the 4th of July, the 5th of July, are going to be coming together in a conjunction at 23 degrees. That is a wealth building aspect. So whatever is coming to completion is bringing you more money, security, fame, recognition. I mean, this is, you could land a really good job, or you could be on, you know, you could find that dream position or that dream situation. Now your 4th house, the sun, the moon, so the moon's in the 10th. And the moon usually represents changes, instability. So things are changing in your career and your life path, your direction. But this full moon is a good moon. It doesn't have a lot of negative aspects. It has a lot of luck and wealth building aspects, the Pluto and Jupiter thing. The sun is conjunct Mercury in the 4th house. It's it's a little bit of a wide orb, but it's still there. And the sun is trining, well no, the moon is trining Uranus in the 2nd house, and the sun is sextiling Uranus. So that's going to affect your money. 2nd house is financial. So there could be some unexpected developments in July around this eclipse that changes your trajectory and brings you some new opportunity that comes out of the blue, a career opportunity. Neptune is retrograding in your 12th house, and it's going to be sextile to the moon and the sun, and it's going to be trining the sun and sextiling the moon at 23 degrees. So there could be some breakthrough, something that happens around the full moon that leads you to a different, you know, it brings things to light. It makes you aware. So if you've been deluded or if you've been confused, I think that confusion is going to start to clear up around this full moon. You have Venus in the 3rd house, and it's sextile Mars in your sign in Aries in the 1st house. And Chiron is also in Aries in the 1st house. So this is a time of healing for you. And maybe you're going to be taking action to heal. You're going to be, Mars in your 1st house is giving you energy. You just want to go out and conquer the world. And Venus being sextile, it's in the 3rd house. That's the house of communication and contracts. You could be having negotiations that work out in your favor. You could be getting along better with relatives, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, neighbors. There could even be a love interest that comes out of your local environment. Mercury starts out the month retrograde, so it could bring some people back from the past that you reconnect with, but it will go direct July 12th. So if you're waiting to sign a contract or negotiate a deal, if you can wait till, or start a new job, if you can wait till when Mercury goes direct, July 12th, that's great. If not, you can't. If you can't, you can't. But this eclipse is going to be a beneficial one. It's going to be a positive one. I think it's going to bring positive energy and surprises, but not unpleasant surprises, positive surprises. It's going to give you a chance to break free and to add some fresh air into your life, because we've all been kind of stuck and stagnant. I think this eclipse is going to open things up for people, especially for you, Aries. Happening in your, it's angular. This eclipse is in your 10th house, and it's activating your 4th house. Plus you've got that Mars energy in your 1st house. Mercury is squaring Mars, so if you're having some conversations, Mercury in the 4th house, you might be negotiating something around a house or a home, wherever you're living. You might have to negotiate with someone. Just try not to be too... watch how you talk. When Mercury squares Mars, we have a tendency to blurt things out and not filter our conversations or whatever. So think before you speak. And try not to sound argumentative or come on too strong in communication. Like that's what this card is saying. You win more flies with honey. So, you're not going to beat someone over the head, and you may feel that way, like especially because Mars is in Aries. You may feel like the warrior, like I just want what I want and I'm just going to be, the warrior about it. These cards are saying just try to calm down, try not to be so belligerent or angry. Don't let your anger get the best of you. Just try to negotiate, try to reach a compromise, and you will do well. I mean, you've got great cards. But if you have to negotiate anything, just, try to go for the win-win. Then we have the new moon in Cancer, and that's in your 4th house. So that's a new beginning. The only thing is that the sun and the moon will be in Cancer in your 4th house of home and family. So you can have some new beginnings around home. Maybe you're moving to a new home. It's opposed by Saturn in the 10th house, and it's an exact opposition. So you may feel blocked or restricted by your obligations at work. There might be some authority figure that you have a conflict with about this new beginning. So, and Mercury is going to be there in the 4th house. You may have to do some negotiating. You may have to do some communicating. Mercury in Cancer could be healing communication, where you have to, you might be talking to family members and feeling nurtured. You might feel that, you need more support in your life, or you need more connection to family. Jupiter is in your 10th, so Jupiter is bringing you luck, and it's sextiling Neptune in your 12th. So it's a great time to heal any kind of psychological issues. If you have anything, any kind of blocks or any kind of anger issues or any kind of hidden blind spots that you want to get at, this would be a good time to have a new beginning along those lines. Like find a new counselor. Sometimes this card represents counseling. And it would work out really well for you. Mercury is sextile Uranus, and Uranus in Taurus is in your 2nd house. So you could be negotiating a new salary. If you're dealing with a new job, you could be getting a raise. There could be unexpected developments around money and finance that are going to come out of the blue, and they'll be positive. The only thing, like I said, because Mercury is still going to be squaring Mars, is try not to go over the top with your energy. You're going to feel that energy of Mars in Aries. So you just want to calm yourself down. Don't overdo it. Don't be fighting with the whole world. Use that energy, like get exercise. You might be, getting on a new exercise workout program. You're just going to feel so. You got to do something with that energy. If you don't do something with the Mars energy, you wind up fighting with everybody. So do something physical. If you're moving into a new house, clean it and move furniture, and you might be painting. Or if you're trying to change your appearance, you might be getting on a new exercise program. Working out would be great. Hiking, lifting weights, running. Just get that energy out so that it doesn't build up and then become, turn into conflict. So I think July is going to be exciting for you, Aries. I think that you're going to have some, exciting new beginnings that may come out of the blue that are going to help you financially, and also with your job, your career, and your home is going through changes, and there's an opportunity for new beginnings that are going to be pleasing to you. It's going to put you on a good path. So this is my forecast for July. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and if you did, click on the like button or click on the subscribe. And if you'd like a private reading, just click on the link in my description box. It'll take you to the website. You can book a reading. In the meantime, I want to say thank you, everyone, for supporting this channel by liking, subscribing, sharing, ordering readings, commenting. I love reading all the comments, and I love working with all you guys. So, and if you're new, welcome. I hope you're enjoying the videos. So Aries, take advantage of Mars in your sign. You've got him for 6 months. Usually Mars stays in the sign like 3 months, maybe 3 weeks, 6 weeks, something like that. But because he's retrograding, it's going to bring major changes to your life and to how you see yourself, because it's in your first house, how you're seen in the world. You're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Just don't beat everybody over the head with that force. Use it wisely. Don't be like a fire hose, you know. But you're going to do great. You've got this Ace of Pentacles. That's new beginnings, financial security, money coming in, job. Go for it. Go for it. Don't be afraid to give something up that's not working and move into something better. So I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.